we go. All right, so good morning, everybody, and thank you all for joining our State of Ohio quarterly update for today. My name is Dr. Kitiana Lowe, and just to introduce you to a little bit of our team, we also have on the call Catherine Macon, who's our Manager of Marketing and Social Media, and our fearless leader, Executive Director Lenny Smith is not able to join us today, but she is always readily available to assist each and every one of our WBEs. And so we're excited today to have Monica Womack join us for the Minority Business Development Division quarterly updates. And she is the Chief Minority Business Development, Chief of the Minority Business Development Division in the state of Ohio. And she joined us last quarter and we had a full room and she gave some amazing information. So I know that all of you are in for a treat. So without further ado, Monica, I will pass it over to you.
Good morning, everyone. First, thank you, Women Business Enterprise Council, Ohio River Valley, for this opportunity to continue to share all the great things that are happening, not only across the state of Ohio, but more specifically as it impacts the women that we serve. And there may be some new people here this time, so I did want to go provide just a little bit of an overview. You can do the next slide, please. Just to do a little bit of an overview of kind of where we are, some of the things that we're doing. Next slide, please. Perfect. So what brings us all here is really around certifications. So we are the certification unit for the state of Ohio as it relates to the 4 certifications that are listed here. And I did want to let you be aware that this presentation can be shared with your group. And so the items that are below the image of the certification type are links to those pages with specific information related to how those programs operate, what information is associated with them, but more specifically, just the guidelines and requirements to be eligible for those certifications. I did want to acknowledge the fact that with the Women Business Enterprise certification that we do have a reciprocity agreement with the Women Business Enterprise Council, Ohio River Valley, that if you are an Ohio resident and are certified through WBEC ORV, that you have the ability to cross-certify into the state's program with minimal documentation. So it means that all of the hard work and effort that you put into becoming certified through WBEC ORV will be able to leverage that information in order to get you certified through the state. But note that your certification is going to expire at the same expiry of your WBEC ORV certification. So if your certification expires this month, we have leap year. So if it expires on February 29th, we would wait till you get recertified because we wouldn't want you to be eligible for the state program for 3 weeks and then have to come back and do the process over again. But definitely if you have like several months between your expiry and transferring into the state program, we'll definitely be able to work with you on that. Next slide, please. Our capital programs. So by being certified through the state of Ohio as either a minority business enterprise or a women business enterprise, you have the ability and access to our Ohio microloan. That one we can do up to $45,000 at 0% interest. And that is correct on the screen. It is 0% interest. And again, if you see a hyperlink, it gives you direct access to that page of information. We also have our Women Business Enterprise loan. That loan we can do up to $500,000 at 75% of that project cost. If you are certified through the state of Ohio or the Women Business Enterprise Council, Ohio River Valley, you're eligible for 1.5% interest on that. And we also have the ability to refinance debt, which is going to be huge as we're looking at increasing cash flow, as well as providing additional support and services to our growing women-owned businesses throughout the state. And then another incentive program that we have is called our Ohio Capital Access Program. And this particular program, we actually provide we provide capital to our businesses through banks, specifically state depository banks. And so when we have an opportunity to be able to review, capture, and identify resources and opportunities through that bank, we're able to actually provide up to 80% of that collateral shortfall in that transaction, up to the amounts listed here. So we could do up to $350,000 on that collateral shortfall for machinery, land, and other equipment. And then if we have one that is for like working capital, payroll, inventory, we can do up to $250,000. Next slide, please. So one of the programs that we don't receive a lot of conversation around, but actually we actually are able to move more intentionally, are through our federal programs. So the State Small Business Credit Initiative was actually a part of the ARPA dollars that came through. And with this particular funding, we actually took our Collateral Enhancement Program 2.0, because we did participate in the State Small Business Credit Initiative during the President Obama's administration, and we are able to now leverage new dollars to be able to support businesses. With our collateral enhancement program, we can actually work again with banks, in this case, banks, credit unions, community development, financial institutions, savings and loans, any type of organization that actually does a type of lending. We can actually provide a collateral piece as cash similar to the other, but we can go up to 50% on that particular transaction for that collateral shortfall. Where we have an additional advantage on that program is we can go up to $1 million for that collateral shortfall. And we actually have one transaction pending now where we actually have a $2 million loan that is coming through, and we're able to provide, they have $1 million in collateral, we'll provide them with $1 million in collateral so that they'll be able to have access to that $2 million. The new program that we have is our Community Development Financial Institution Loan Participation Program. Yes, that is a lot to say. So we refer to it as the CDFI LPP. With this particular program, we have the ability to provide cash to CDFIs to be able to provide those loan transactions directly to those businesses that typically would visit a CDFI, but we have capped the interest rate on that. So the maximum interest rate on our CDFI LPP is prime minus a quarter, whereas on the collateral enhancement program, CEP 2.0, it's the bank's rate at that time. So we haven't seen a lot of traction in our collateral enhancement program. We launched it in July of 2021, excuse me, not 21, excuse me, July of 2023. So we've had only 4 transactions with maximum loan amounts to just over $2 million. With our CDFI LPP, since July 1st of 2023, we've had 94 transactions with just under $8 million in loan amounts. So the ability to get that capital into the hands of the businesses that need it has been very valuable to those organizations and those companies that are growing. We actually partnered across the state with ECDI. In the northern portion of the state, we partner with Western Reserve, which is in the Akron area. In the Youngstown area, we have Valley Partners. In the southeastern portion of the state, in the Athens County area, we partner with the Appalachian Growth Capital. Here in Central Ohio, we also partner with Freedom Equity. And we are in the process of bringing in the Cleveland area, the UBIZ Financial Fund, which is through the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. So really excited about how we're able to do other capital that we have in these places. Next slide, please. So what you all came for, the metrics that matter. Next, please. So since January of 2022, we have completed 104 loans to women-owned businesses, totaling $15,489,577. Of that, we actually, and so when we think about that number, to put it in context, from 2003 to 2021, the Department of Development did 25 loans totaling $10 million, just over $10 million. So for that almost 20-year period, we did 25 total transactions to just over $10 million. And this is just from the one loan program that we have. Since January of 2022 through January 31st of 2024, we've done 239 loan transactions to just over $22 million. So the value add and the increase in support to supporting women-owned businesses has been insurmountable. And when we think about the fact that just over 22 million in total loans were processed, of that 15 million of that went to women-owned businesses across the state of Ohio. So congratulations to the women who may be on this call, who have leveraged the program, and we're continuing to update that program as well. We also have 1,176 certified women-owned businesses in the state. That number does not include any, it's not duplicative, meaning if you're Edge and WBE, it's not saying, okay, we're taking you as having two certifications. We're just tracking that as a woman, we have women-owned businesses, but those women-owned businesses may have all four of our certifications. They may have both the WBE, Edge, MBE, and or VFBE if applicable. Next slide, please. So what's new? What's coming up? Well, this looks a little wonky on here, but what I did want to share is that for the Department of Development, we've actually added an additional Tier 1 service provider in the Northeast region of the state. So in our Cleveland area, we are partnering with the Northeast Ohio Hispanic Center for Economic Development. They are serving as our Tier 1 in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. What may be a little hard to see, there are boxes versus diamonds. And so the boxes are our Tier 1 service providers. So we have one in Richland County, one in Stark County, one in Trumbull County, and then a new one heading into the Cuyahoga County area. And then our diamonds are our Tier 2 service providers. So that would be in the other metropolitan areas, Lucas, Cuyahoga, Summit, Franklin, Montgomery, Mahoning, and Hamilton. So those are where our Tier 1 providers are, Tier 2 providers, and then we also have our Tier 1. The Tier 1 is really to help our businesses who are just looking to start. I do know that the Women Business Enterprise Council, Hybrid Valley, certifies businesses prior to the 1-year mark. We understand that there's still foundational opportunities that need to take place in our businesses. And so being able to help them with that foundation to be prepared, not only for the capital needs that they have, but also for procurement. And transitioning into procurement, next slide. So that we can all get a piece of the pie. We have newly launched the Office of Supplier Development. This office actually has two focuses. The supplier development side is really focusing on how do we prepare our suppliers to be in the marketplace? How do we ensure that they have the resources, the tools, and the information to be successful in not only being able to acquire capital, but how to leverage bonding, also how to support their bid proposals, how they actually attract and identify solicitations. But supplier development also helps with our buyer side. Our buyers also need to be informed and not being able to continue to make the statement of, we don't know that these businesses exist. And we don't know that there are women businesses that are in this capacity. We don't know that they're minority business in this capacity. We have veteran friendly versus veteran owned. But to make sure that we have businesses that historically have been under-resourced, have access to what these opportunities are, and to really be intentional in how we engage. Right now, we actually, again, have a memorandum of understanding with WEBEC ORV. We also have a memorandum of understanding with the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council. So we're actively engaged in how to increase and support the resources that are available to women and minority and historically under-resourced groups. Within that office is also the compliance side. While we have goals that are set for the state of Ohio with 15% for minority business enterprises, 5% for our edge businesses, which is encouraging diversity, growth, and equity, we still want to make sure that those agencies, boards, and commissions are meeting those demands. And having a supplier compliance office allows us to have a better lens and attraction to support those businesses. One of the areas that will be very intentional within both teams is how they collaborate together. So what we identify from a metric perspective on the compliance side, we can now leverage to actually impact and reflect the program that we have on the development side, meaning that our businesses who are in industries that typically haven't seen access to the opportunities and have historically gone to quote unquote the same companies, how we're able to now identify ways to expand what the reach is and look to what we can do better. Underneath these compliance side, we actually are moving our affirmative action plan verification and our certificate of compliance. Both of those are part of contracting with the state of Ohio. We'll now be able to pull metrics to identify of the activity that's happening here in the number of AAPBs that we're issuing on a daily basis versus our certificate of compliance that we're issuing also on a daily basis. That how many of those companies are actually a part of our MBE Edge, WBE, BFBE list, and those that are not, especially those that are outside of the state of Ohio, how are we able to identify MWBEs, VFBEs, edge firms that are in the state of Ohio that are doing similar work from an opportunity perspective? So definitely excited about the launching of the office. From a team perspective, many of you may have had interaction with Valerie Williams. She is now our supplier development manager. Tim Collins, who assists with procurement opportunities, is our supplier development coordinator. We have a position open for our supplier development manager. Excuse me. One second. Let me just log off my team so that way I don't get another interruption. One second. I apologize.
I think we might have lost her. Let's give her just one moment. Maybe there we go. There we go. Okay.
Yes. No, not a problem. I just wanted to log out of Teams so that way, because our phones actually ring through Teams now. Our desk phones, we no longer have desk phones at the state. So if someone's calling my office, it's ringing directly into our meeting right now. So I logged out of Teams so that wouldn't happen again. So I apologize for that. So the importance and value of, from a teaming perspective, we do have a position open for our deputy chief over our supplier development office. We do have a supplier compliance manager position open, and we also have a supplier compliance administrator position open. That administrator position role really does work directly with our agencies, boards, and commissions to assist them in actually not only meeting the 15%, but exceeding the 15% for MBE, and then also the 5% for EDGE goals. And the deputy chief over our supplier development office will work very closely with WEVEC ORB, as well as the OMSDC, cities and counties, to actually really identify what opportunities that we can make sure that we're leveraging the relationships between all organizations to really support and develop the businesses that we have. Next step, please. Coming soon. So one of the things that we are definitely working on is system automation. We understand that having to apply for certification, then update your information in Ohio Buys, then update your information into Ohio Pays is daunting. And what we're working towards through not only our IT, but also through the IT team within DAS for Ohio Buys and Ohio Pays, is that on a nightly basis, when we have processed the certifications for that day, that there will be an upload into both Ohio Buys and Ohio Pays. And the value add to our women-owned businesses specifically is some women-owned businesses really are seeking state certification because they want access to the loans. I mean, 1.5% and 0% interest are nothing to bat one's eye at, especially while interest rates are as high as they are at this particular time. So being able to minimize your opportunity to get into Ohio Pays, so that way we can pay you directly for the loan transaction and minimize your effort in getting through that process. And if there is an opportunity that's available in Ohio Buys that makes sense, you have now have access to what those opportunities are, where we will be including what your commodity codes are, which that way you'll be able to not only attract the opportunities that you're doing on the corporate side, but you'll also have access to attract the opportunities that are available and available to you on the business side as well. So definitely excited about a lot of the things that are coming up, um, and how we're able to support and really having more targeted interactions and engagements with our business community. And so I believe this is the last slide that I have in here with information. Yes. So now I'm open for questions. I will check the chat.
There is a question in the chat. Says, can your certification cross over to other federal cities, states, and groups for cross certifications?
So we can cross certify into other states if they accept the state of Ohio. We can cross certify if you are certified in the state of Ohio at the state level. You can be cross certified into municipality programs at the state subdivision level. So, as an example, if you are certified through the state of Ohio and you live in Cincinnati, we can cross certify you into the city of Cincinnati's WBE program. If you are a non-minority, because they did make some changes to their program. So non-minority women are able to be cross-certified into the WBE program. Federally, we do not have that relationship at this time. We are working with the SBA on that opportunity, but the way that the language would go is if you are WOSB certified, you can then cross-certify into the state of Ohio.
Thank you. And another question from the chat, what programs, support, and opportunities are available for very small businesses in the state of Ohio, such as solopreneurs with the 1099 or subcontractors?
So if you are a solopreneur, you have the ability to still participate in our loan program. We actually did a loan last month for a business whose name is Solopreneur. And so we were able to do that. If you are a solopreneur and you actually are a 1099 contractor, we do need to show that you are registered with the state of Ohio as a business entity, and you may just be able to do just your name. And we've had individuals that have done just their name and a doing business as.
Great. Any other questions? You can come off mute or you can put them in the chat. Anything beyond loans?
Be more specific. What do you mean?
Teresa, do you want to come off mute and ask your question a little bit more?
Sure. Hi, Monica. Thank you for this presentation. Yes, beyond the loans, I've had my business for 35 years, so we're celebrating a big anniversary this year.
Nice.
No, but I wanted to know from the state of Ohio perspective, how do you support very small businesses beyond loans? So are there ways to get connected? If you're a solopreneur, a consultant, working one-on-one with different executives, organizations, how would you, what do you suggest for very small businesses in that capacity? And I'm an LLC, so I've been registered with the state of Ohio for a long time as an LLC.
So when you're saying beyond loans, meaning are you looking for like supplier development connections? Are you looking for resource partners? Like what specifically are you seeking in that statement?
So both, as a state of Ohio resident in my whole life, it would be great if there were a way to make some connections for the state of Ohio, because I do feel like I get a lot of support, certainly from a tax standpoint. So I'm just wondering, yes, networking connections, partnering with other firms. I mean, how does the state of Ohio make that possible for very small businesses, LLCs?
So we actually work directly with very small businesses and LLCs. The majority of the organizations that we work with do classify underneath the State Small Business Credit Initiative as very small businesses having 10 or less employees, micro enterprises. So we have our network of assistance centers. So what part of the state are you located in?
The Dayton, Ohio area.
Dayton. So we are actually partnering with the Dayton Regional Chamber as our Minority Business Assistance Center in that area, as they're newly added to our network. So this is month 7 for for them in our program. So actually we just started month 8, but in that range, we're still very new in developing that team. But that's where there will be those activities and partnership also, and then also connecting with Valerie Williams, who's our supplier development manager, to be able to really connect from those resources as it relates to what's available, what opportunities there are that are available from a contracting and procurement perspective, to then make those connections with you, having an understanding of what your sweet spot is, if you will, as it relates to the work that you're doing and how to be able to support and navigate accordingly. I will put Valerie's email in the chat.
That would be great. And I thank you for that connection. So Belinda, I believe, is in charge of that Minority Business Assistance Center. So you're saying maybe just connect directly with her.
Oh, most definitely.
Okay, great. And then Valerie's name. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. So that's her email in the chat there.
Perfect, thank you. So the next question, is there a difference in applying for a debt consolidation loan through the Women's Business Enterprise Loan Program? Is it more difficult to obtain?
So the program is the exact same. So the debt consolidation, we actually have done many of those to date. And so it would be the same application process. One of the true advantages to our state funded programs, meaning our Ohio microloan, our Women Business Enterprise loan, we also have a minority direct loan. Those programs are funded directly through us. So we are not pulling credit. We are only making the decision based off of your debt service coverage ratio of being 1.2 to 1. And then we also are looking at what your projections are. Are you able to service the debt? That's literally what we're looking at. We want to make sure that the debt that is being consolidated is business debt. So we do know that a lot of smaller businesses are bootstrapping and that they're funding directly through their personal credit or their personal loans. We wouldn't be able to refinance those and consolidate those obligations. But if the loans are actually into the name of the entity, and even credit card debt, if the credit card is in the name of the business, we are able to refinance that debt as well.
Thank you. And that kind of leads to this next question I'll read in the chat here. It says, I'm working on a 504 loan for a building. Would the WBE loan refinance the 504 portion with the SBA or the bank?
Yes. One of the opportunities that we have in that, being careful of if there's a prepayment penalty. Because one of the things, now true, I mean, we can do 75% of the project cost. So if your loan that you're doing, because typically they have like a debt service of 80%. If the loan that you're doing is, $480,000 and you're wanting us to refinance that, we can refinance all $480,000. If you're looking to do a new purchase through our WBE loan program, we would only be able to do 75% of that project cost. What I will say is that we have had a business owner, a woman business owner out of Cincinnati, was rushed in making her closing. So she financed through an area bank in the Cincinnati area. We did have the conversation between her and that bank, whether or not they had a prepayment penalty, because she closed on her loan in July and we did our refinance in October. So we were able to refinance that loan transaction that she just closed in July of 2023. We refinanced it in October and actually are saving her over $3,000 a year.
Wow, that's awesome. Any other questions? Just a moment just to see if somebody might be typing a little bit. I don't see anything coming in the chat. So before we wrap up, first oh wait, my chat box just popped up. Yes.
No, I just wanted to let her know that she was a supplier development manager. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Monica, thank you so very much once again for all of this information. You always bring a wealth of information to our WBEs each and every quarter, and we're so appreciative because it helps them to make their jobs easier and become more successful for their businesses. So definitely want to thank you for your time, taking out time today. We appreciate it. And to those who are on the phone, just wanted to give a quick highlight to some of our upcoming events. If you do not already have these dates on your calendar, you should. And if you're looking for the links to all of this, please make sure that you visit our website, go to our website and click on our calendar, and then you'll see the links to be able to register. So February is chock full. We've got our Doing Business with KeyBank, which is our corporate series, and they come on and they will be sharing with you how to do business with the bank. If that's something that you're interested in, definitely sign up for that workshop. I want to highlight two other workshops that we have that we're really excited about. On February 15th is our Collaborate to Accelerate Business Growth Through Strategic Alliances and Joint Ventures. If you are considering or interested or think you might want to dip your toe into one day anything about strategic alliances or any type of joint venture partnerships, this is a workshop that you do not want to miss. This workshop is the first workshop of a 3-workshop series that we'll be doing this year. And in order to participate at that second and third level, you have to be in the room or virtually on the 15th. So this workshop is actually going to be a hybrid workshop. It'll be face-to-face in Cincinnati, or we do have the virtual option for those that are not able to travel to the area. The face-to-face is limited. So if you want to be there in the room face-to-face, you'll definitely want to go ahead and get registered for that so that you secure your seats. And then on the 21st, for those who maybe need a little bit of extra assistance in developing their capability statement, we have a workshop on developing an effective capability statement. And that's a key piece that you're going to want, whether you're working with the state of Ohio or any of the other businesses. It's definitely a tool that you want to have in your toolbox so that you're able to tell about your business in a 1 to 2 page document. So if you need assistance with that or know somebody that needs assistance with that, that's where you'll want to be on the 21st. And the 22nd is a fairly new workshop that we are excited to share. We have the awesome opportunity to have a young lady that's working through a program. Excuse me, she lives in South Africa. And so she is doing a workshop for us, facilitating a workshop for us on how to navigate import and export across Africa. And so if that is something that you are interested in with your business model, whether that's meanings that you have product that you're trying to send back and forth, or even as a consultant, if you want to be able to expand your reach or anything like that, this is a workshop that you definitely want to attend. This is a virtual workshop on the 22nd. And then wrapping up the latter part of the month, we've got Doing Business with the University of Kentucky. And then just sharing, kicking off on March 6th is our first WBE luncheon, which is focusing on springtime self-care and styling. And then finally, of course, we'll be talking about it all the time. Catch the Wave for 2024 is August 26th through the 28th. Put that date on your calendar now, so that way you're already blocked off to be in the room. We are going to be in Cincinnati, Ohio this year. More information will be coming out soon. Registration will be coming out soon, but you want to go ahead and pencil that in on your calendar so that way you can be there. Once again, for any of those events, you can visit our website and click on our calendar, and then that will take you directly to any of our events there. Before you all leave me today, if you could take a moment and scan the QR code on your screen. If you are on your phone, then you can't scan the QR code, but we will also send this out via email along with the presentation. We cannot become better without your feedback. So we are asking for you to take just a couple of moments to fill out the brief survey about our time today. And yes, I agree, Michelle. Can't wait for Catch the Wave. I'm super excited about it this year, 100%. Monica, do you have any final thoughts?
The only thing that I wanted to share, because I think that I see Michelle, so it's great to see that you're out here. I also see Rachel is on as well, so good seeing you ladies. We actually did issue a disparity study as a part of the budget for the this current biennium, and we have done an evaluation, and so we're following up with a vendor on that, but there will be some additional information coming forth as it relates to the disparity study for the state of Ohio. And again, thank you, WeVec ORV, for just being an excellent partner. Really excited about the work, and congratulations on your 501c3 status. So that is awesome. So very, very excited about the next steps and how we can continue to partner to grow women businesses in the state of Ohio.
Thank you. We look forward to it. And once again, thank you for your time today. And for all of you who joined, thank you all for your time as well. And have a great day. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.